quite a domesticated day today. Domesticated in as much as I'm spending it indoors. I've done the birds this morning, let them out, fed them, given them fresh water, and then I've come inside. I've decided I'm going to tackle some jobs that, well, we've been here for 2 years now, and I've been meaning to do them for the whole of that 2 years. So I finally got around to it. And the first of those jobs is to put up a curtain rail and find suitable curtains to go at the window at the bottom of the stairs, which you can see here through the doorway there, just above the children's toys. I'm not quite sure why it's taken me just so long to get around to putting these curtains in. So let me show you. Isn't that pretty? Blue sky out of the window. Doesn't that look lovely? And I've put up these very lovely curtains. There's a curtain rail, there's a batten and a curtain rail at the top of the window here. Now it's pink, that doesn't matter, it's a treated piece of wood because when we redecorate in our hall, in this hall stairs and landings, and get rid of this rather hideous yellow, we can paint it so it all tones in. So yeah, look, curtains, and you know, they look quite grey in this light. Well, you can see as the sun is shining through them there, they're a beautiful rich yellow colour with a golden yellow design on them, and I love this fabric. It's by the Design Archives, and it's an absolutely typical well, you know, urns and flowers. I can't even think what the design's called, but anyway, it's very classic, it's very lovely. And then my next job is to put a shelf along the top here, sitting right on the top of the rail. And once I've done that, I can then make a little pelmet to go along the top of that rail, or to cover that rail, and it will cover the batten and the curtain rail as well, and it will look neat and tidy. So I'm really pleased to have got that job done. It was a truly it wasn't even a mammoth task, it was just mentally a bit of a mammoth task because, well, I just haven't got around to it. And next I'm tackling some cooking. I'm making some crystallised ginger as we speak. It's in the pan doing its thing, and then I'm going to make the mildest of mild curries from some lamb that we have left over after roasting a leg of lamb the other day. And with all this activity going on, I am going from much too cold and therefore putting on a winter dress to much too hot. So excuse the hot flushes. So I'm going to make a very mild curry, and possibly some sort of lamb stew as well, and get those in the freezer. And then, so she's checking the time. Mr. J will probably be home, and this afternoon I plan to record my first podcast. Ooh. The podcast will be going over onto my Patreon page, and we're going to start off with a look at the process of moving here and how we felt when we first moved here. So if you're interested in in hearing a bit more in depth, pop on over to my Patreon page and have a little look there. A couple of people have asked me to show them what I've been cooking. So here is some of that roast lamb, and it's just stewing on a really low heat in some stock, and that's actually a chicken and duck stock because that's what I had to hand. And this is some swede, which I've just lifted from the garden, which I think in other parts of the world they call rutabaga. And now I'm just going to chop and add other vegetables that I've got from the garden. So this is the ochre or ocker, which I lifted, I harvested yesterday. See how pretty that is in the middle. So I'm just going to chop that into small pieces. And as I'm chopping, I can still hear the ducks shouting to be let into the food forest. Not for them today. Next are some leeks. I'm a real fan of leeks, and Mr. J, he's all right with them, but he doesn't love them in the same way that I do. But I really like the onion flavour. I like the mildness of a leek. Now when I'm cooking, all the bits that I cut off go into a paper bag to go out to the compost heap. So I really don't waste, nothing gets wasted if it's not used in the kitchen. It gets used back into the garden to feed the soil. And I'm just checking because very often the ends nearest, or the ends furthest away from the ground, can be a bit, they can still have a bit of soil in them here and there. So, and then the leeks will go into the pan. And the next thing I do is I'm going to add, I don't need to add salt because the stock is quite salty already. I will add a little bit of pepper. I am a fan of pepper, and that's just coarse ground black pepper. And I've also added some roast squash. And part of the joy of having so much food pre-prepared is that I didn't have to roast that off. It was already done. And then the last thing I'm going to add is one very healthy sprig of rosemary. And I'm not going to stir it in. I'm literally just going to rest it on the top there. There we go. I will come and check it every now and then to make sure nothing's sticking to the base of the pan. I'm just going to leave those flavours to infuse. And then I'll divide it into two, and part of it will be curry and part of it will be a lamb stew. And so, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've got planned for today, I hope it's going to be a good one for you, and I also hope you can join me again tomorrow.